Hey folks, I hope you're taking good care of yourself today. Are you looking for ways to fill up your crafting bag and make some decent gold? Then you've come to the right place. In Best Farming Spot Ever, we will test various farming spots, evaluate and rate them on our quest to find the best farming spot ever. Instead of picking an entire zone, we will be focusing on small contained areas within zones to provide consistency and replicability.
Try this at home. Mom.
We will focus on this selection of materials as they are the most interesting and as an attempt to keep it concise. We will be running in a full speed build and naturally have the necessary champion point perks as well. That sound interesting? This is episode 5 of Best Farming Spot Ever. Ladies and gentlemen, today is the day where we will be finishing up the starter islands by giving Bleakrock Isle a thorough look. And boy oh boy, I know I have said it before that I was surprised by the results, but this time is very special. After concluding today's results, I can confidently say that Bleakrock Isle gets overlooked way too much. But before we get ahead of ourselves and talk about the crazy results, let's start at the beginning, because this is a zone you don't want to undersell after this anymore. Bleakrock Isle is an island off the coast of Eastmarch in the north of Tamriel. It's a snowy place as it is akin to Region of Skyrim, and as you have come to expect as a starter island, it is accessible without the need for any DLCs or ESO+. With 3 routes I've prepped for you today, you can once again have options to choose from when you decide to farm this zone, which we will learn momentarily. You should. As usual, I farmed each route for 30 minutes and extrapolated the data for 60 minutes. To get a feeling for the zone, since I haven't been here much in the past, I started with the control route first this time. We will call it cruise control, and it was a great starting point to get a feel for the zone. Our second route starts from the central hub of Bleakrock Isle, where we head west to catch a few caves that harbor many rubedite and platinum spawns, before we head north and circle back inland to close the loop in the central hub. We will call it Rocky Road. And our final route, the Ace Clutch, will be our first route that doesn't entail alliteration. It will all make sense in the end, I promise. The route that mainly takes place in the east looks a bit confusing because it is way less deterministic than the previous route. Unfortunately, it isn't a perfect loop as it comes across a bit of a dry patch. But with that said, mind extra attention to this route. We will get to it. As usual, here are my harvest map pins in case you want to plan a route for yourself. You can clearly see the paths I have taken this time. Let's head over to the race and my initial thoughts. I almost get tired of mentioning it, but as a starter island, Bleakrock Isle has a high resource density and quick respawns. For some reasons, butterflies often hover directly above resource nodes, so be ready to accidentally decimate the local fauna. That's very subjective now, but being in a snowy area was a nice change of scenery and I really enjoyed it. And what also is pretty apparent that there are a lot of players in this area. Among other reasons, I think it is because the mob grinding spot, I haven't tested that, but whenever I see that mob grinding spot, I'm like, I don't know about that. Maybe some of you can enlighten me. However, barely anybody focuses on the resources, which might change after the conclusions today, so sorry. I appreciate your patience while we are getting to the results at last. Starting with the control route, Alchemy gets a 3 out of 3 with 30 Columbine and 14 Violet Coprinus. Wood has to be content with 2 out of 3 with 374 Rough Ruby Ash and 48 Hardwood. Enchanting earns a 2 out of 3 as well with ludicrous lucky results for Kuda, which netted us 8 units. Platinum and Rubedite with 366 and 520 respectively result in 2 out of 3 as well. And lastly, Ancestor Silk with 372 earns a 2 out of 3 as well. The Rocky Road surprises with a staggering 46 Columbine and disappoints with 2 Violet Coprinus, still earning it 3 out of 3 for Alchemy. Bleakrock giveth and Bleakrock taketh away, I suppose. Wood earns an upper end 2 out of 3 with 400 Rough Ruby Ash and 70 Hardwood. Enchanting earns an upper end 2 out of 3 as well, with an unfortunate 0 Kuta, but a very decent 88 Ta and 70 Mundane Runes. Platinum and Rubedite with 370 and 758 respectively miss 3 out of 3 by just a bit. And lastly, Ancestor Silk earns a mere 1 out of 3 for 206 units. And now, for the route I have been building up this entire video. The Ace Clutch appears unspectacular at first as it netted us 22 Columbine and 4 Violet Coprinus, earning 1 out of 3 for Alchemy. Wood gets a 3 out of 3 with 488 Rough Ruby Ash and a whopping 100 Hardwood. Enchanting barely makes it to 2 out of 3 with a lucky 4 Kuta, 56 Mundane Runes and 40 Ta. Platinum and Rubedite netted us 446 and 706 respectively, resulting in an upper end 2 out of 3. Lastly, Ancestor Silk ended up at 544 units, earning an easy 3 out of 3 and a new rank 1 for Ancestor Silk. Finalizing with competition, Bleakrock Isle will receive 2 out of 3 points. There are a few people around, but I generally didn't find it too obstructive. Naturally, with this being a starter island, there is always some competition around. It's just the nature of these zones. With that out of the way, let's switch to the points and see how well Bleakrock Isle does in the context of our previously tested zones. The control route sums up to 19,620 points, which is a crazy result for a control route, easily beating every route from Kanathi's Roost and Strosmikai. The Rocky Road is ahead by roughly 200 points with a result of 19,852, and lastly, the result you have been waiting for. The Ace Clutch surprises us all with a mind-boggling 22,378 points, which is a result so outlandishly good that I almost couldn't believe it. And now the naming makes sense too. An Ace Clutch is a term used in Counter-Strike for when a player is able to win a 1 versus 5. It's a very rare and unlikely occurrence, just like Bleakrock Isle proved to beat the opposition against all odds. The only problem with this analogy is that there are only 4 other starter islands. Crap.
An unbelievable clutch to keep his team in it! Yes, he can! Donk the Destroyer with a 4K and all 5 in the end! Unbelievable from one of the world's best!
Putting a gold gain tag on the Ace Clutch. As for prices for TTC PC EU for May 27th, 2025, it easily stomps the opposition with an average gain of 207,388 gold, surpassing the 200k mark for the first time ever. Obligatory mention, your gains will be even higher, as you will obtain more materials than the ones I'm tracking for this format. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce you to the new best farming spot ever? The Ace Clutch comfortably takes the lead, beating our rank 1 from Balfoyan by a whole 1,000 points. And while so far almost any week has introduced a new best farming spot ever, this week is different. Because it is very unlikely that this rank will get beaten anytime soon, if it does so ever, due to the starter islands being generally the best areas to farm, and the starter islands all tested and wrapped up. It is not unlikely that Bleakrock Isle will hold the title forever and make it the best farming spot in all of ESO. So naturally, I had to clickbait the shit out of it. The cruise control ranks at number 7, narrowly surpassed by Rocky Road, which makes it to rank 6. We therefore conclude the starter islands at long last, as we have tested them all. With specific routes tested, Bleakrock Isle is the best starter island to farm as mentioned before, followed by Balfoyan, Batnik, Strosmikai and lastly Kanathi's Roost, that we initially thought had good results, ending up in the last place now. Keep in mind, in real-world scenarios, nothing of this is as cut and dry as I make it out to be. If one spot is contested, you're naturally earning less than what's potentially possible. So while Kanathi's Roost looks like an afterthought, it still holds value. And there we have it. All starter islands are wrapped up now, so we can finally have an outlook on other zones as well. I will follow up with a video that ranks every zone by individual resources, so we will have a video for the best zone to farm Ancestor Silk, Rough Ruby Ash and so on. After that we will most likely have a week or two without BFSE, as I felt interest is decreasing a bit and you guys are saturated. We will see. So what are your thoughts on Bleakrock Isle? Did you expect these kind of results? Because frankly I didn't. If you made it this far, please consider liking the video and perhaps subscribing to catch future videos as well. And as usual, if you are a regular who likes my stuff a lot, consider becoming a member of the channel. And with that, I leave you with, I hope you have a great day. I hope you have an awesome day. You take care of yourself, and I will see you next time.